Okay, so here we go. Let's take a little time to get to know and understand the journey, both personal and their career, of our wonderful panelists here today. So just a fun fact, both Khaalia and Linnae went to the same high school.
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell us a little about that and your experience? Tell us what school.
Yes. So me and Kyla, we attended Whitney Magna High School on the west side together. Go Dolphins. And honestly, basketball brought us together. We played for an amazing program. Shout out to Corey Irvin. She's currently the head coach at Chicago State University. And that built us a stronger connection on the court, but also a friendship and a sisterhood beyond the game. And so in 2012,
2010.
2010? Mm-hmm. 2010, started in 2010, yep. And then in 2012, we won state and we went undefeated, and we just got inducted into the Hall of Fame last year together. So,
So let's continue this conversation. As teammates, how well did you work together? Give us a little insight.
Well, me and her, we worked pretty well together. She is a big guard who's really good at rebounding, and I was also a rebounder, so we kind of just worked off each other in that way. And she's also one of the people who would pass me the ball, so we wanted to make sure that I was locked in. But I was not good at basketball when I went to Young, so it was a little patience. I had to have some people who had patience with me because I had just started playing really, so she was one of the people that really helped me develop. And again, shout out to Corey Irvin because she's a huge reason as to who I am today. And yeah, I mean, Linnae is always one of those people that had my back, and it always meant a lot to me. So I think it translated well on the court between both of us. And throughout that time, we were able to build a friendship beyond the court. And here we are, like 15 years later, still hanging in there.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I won state in 2014, so I got two.
yeah, she got 2 states.
How many you got?
I got one.
Oh, okay. All right. Just kidding. Her name's on the wall.
Awesome, thank you. So for all three panelists, when did you decide to play basketball? And who or what sparked your interest?
Is this working? Yes.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and for the opportunity to be here. So it feels weird to me to start this question, but I'll give it a go. So I started playing basketball when I was probably 8 years old, and my first love was flag football. And the next step was tackle football. And my dad said, absolutely not. Let's try another sport. And so even though, well, I was probably not even 5'2" at the time, I might have been under 5 feet. I became a point guard and just worked on my game 3-4 hours a day when I was growing up through high school. And I was fortunate enough to play with 2 big centers at my high school, so 6'3" and 6'3". So I just loved feeding the post all day. That was my thing.
And I love to hear it. I love to hear it. As I said before, I was not good at basketball in high school, so I was playing basketball, but I wouldn't say I started getting better until I got to Whitney Young. So I just say I started playing basketball at 14, and I was about like 6'3" in high school. So I was around some amazing coaches, Corey being a forward, and then her husband was like a large shooter. So being around them, it just kind of helped me find a love for the game that I didn't have. And after I found a love for the game, I pretty much just worked at it until I got to where I'm at.
I'll take this one.
All right.
Back it up. For myself, I started playing basketball at the age of 5. No one in my family has an athletic background from any type of sport. So honestly, I tell people all the time, basketball found me. And so I grew up playing basketball on the south side of Chicago at Haladner Park, at an outdoor court, and I really just started watching young boys play. And so from the age of 5 to 13, I primarily was the only girl on my team. And so at one point, basketball became my safe haven. It became a place of peace and where I wanted to continue to grow. And so from those years, I've been able to cultivate a lot of relationships, build my skill level on the court, and just continue my journey beyond that.
Awesome. Thank you. So you all talked about starting your journey in basketball, and then thinking about that, how did that experience influence what you're doing currently?
Yeah, so for me, let's see, when I played basketball my freshman year at Yale, then I realized I was not going to make the WNBA, and it was time to find some other career avenues. And so I decided to pursue a career in marketing and brand management, and actually Procter & Gamble came to our campus and did a whole presentation on brands like Tide and Downy and things I could understand and relate to in the grocery store. So I decided to pursue a career in business, and so that really carried me through, let's say, 20 years at companies like Kraft Foods, the old Kraft Foods, on A1 steak sauce, Shake and Bake, and Jell-O, and mac and cheese, and then, as you mentioned, Quaker and Tropicana at PepsiCo. So I actually used sports as a way to develop my leadership skills, and I thought I was pretty much going to be in food and beverage for the rest of my career, and then had this wonderful opportunity to join the Sky 4 years ago through a mentor of mine, actually a former Gatorade CMO, who introduced me to the opportunity. And so it's been really cool to start in basketball as a player and then end up on the business side and have that opportunity to, really be around players and coaches that I admired when I was young. And it's really been phenomenal to watch the growth of the game.
Yeah, awesome.
I was also blessed to receive a full scholarship to Texas A&M University in marketing, so I have a degree in marketing as well. And through that, actually, basketball is my full-time job, so I am a professional athlete, and I accredit a lot of that to my development in high school and college, because I don't think I'll be anywhere that I am today without my development on the court, which, of course, as she mentioned, it leads to leadership skills off the court, which I can translate. When I'm done with basketball, I am going to probably get another degree in data analysis, because I really like the integration of the two with marketing. So I really just accredit high school and college to being able to do what I love and make money while doing it. It doesn't happen all the time, and I'm grateful that I'm one of the people that it did happen to.
And we're grateful. I heard you say something that connected to STEAM. We love that. Your interests.
Oh,
as
yes,
you continue
yes,
to
yes,
grow
yes,
and
yes, yes.
develop
Yes.
a connection to STEAM. We
Yes.
love it.
For myself, when I first started playing basketball, I didn't really have a lot of resources. It was just me and my mom. We didn't have a lot financially, and so I told myself that if I ever had an opportunity to play at a professional level, that I would give back to my community. And so in 2012, I met Mayor Emanuel at the time, and he walked up to me and said, "Aren't you that Harper kid?" And I was like, "How do you know my name?" And so from that point on, that's how I was addressed. And then 7 years later, in 2019, I started my own foundation called That Harper Kid. Essentially, is you can be that kid to, whatever you put your mind to. And so when I made it to the WNBA, I made sure that in my free time, I dedicated and gave back to my community. So from working with youth ages 6 to 17, providing opportunities and resources from a sports standpoint, educational standpoint, also just in your career and beyond. And then as I've continued to get older, I realized at some point the basketball is going to stop dribbling. And thankfully, I'm not there yet, but eventually it will. And so that's why I started Athlete Beyond, because I really want to help athletes transition to each level. I know when I was in high school and college, I didn't get that. And so I want to be able to extend my knowledge. And so it's great to meet people along the way. You never know. I might need you in marketing one day, Kyla. You never
Maybe,
know,
I don't
right?
know. I can run the numbers for you.
It's all about the relationships that you built. And, basketball is about a game. It's about competition. You want to win, but you can't win without the people that's on your team. And so it's important to always remember that as you continue to go through your journey.
Awesome, thank you. So thinking about some of those things, what are some key moments or experiences that you feel have really shaped your career currently?
I'll get mine out the way. So I went to the University of Kentucky. I played there for 2 years. I transferred to Ohio State. We won the Big Ten back-to-back. I was projected to get drafted in the second round to Minnesota. And so I'm sitting there at the draft with my family. I'm excited. I see my name at the bottom, this next best available. But next thing you know, I did not get drafted. And so in that moment, I was like, I have my degree. I can just get a job. But something inside of me just told me to keep going. And so I got back in the gym. I continued to work hard. And I got a call from the Chicago Sky, Minnesota Lynx, and New York Liberty at the time. And I was like, man, would it feel good to play for my hometown? And so I accepted the training camp offer, and it was 6 guards fighting for 1 spot. I made the last spot, and I was the only undrafted rookie that year to play a full season. And so for me, it's in that moment I could have given up, but just the persistence and tenacity that I have, it changed my life forever, which allowed me to continue to play professionally. So for me, not giving up was the best decision I would have ever made in my career.
Awesome. Before we pass it along, let's talk a little bit about being a rookie in the W. Give us a little insight. What were your feelings like, knowing that this is, a new transition for you? Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
That's a great question. We were honestly just talking about this back there. She mentioned, how was it, transitioning to being on the professional level. And for me, one thing I mentioned was that you don't get a manual. When you're in high school and college, you have your coaches and your parents and your professors and teachers to kind of help guide you through each step. Well, when you get to the professional level, you don't get any of that. It's like, this is the schedule, and if it's anything unrelated to basketball, that's on your own time, but you have to make sure that you show up on time and, well prepared. And so first day of training camp, they give you maybe 2 days to learn the plays. And after that second day, it's like they expect you to know the plays in and out. And so for me, I had to take it upon myself to not just be done with practice when the clock went out, but it's like, okay, I need to watch film, I need to study the plays, I need to make sure that I'm watching the veterans on the team, because I want to make sure that when my name gets called, that it's worthwhile. So preparation is key.
Thanks for sharing that.
I then forgot the question.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry.
What key moments?
Yes. Right. Okay. So I also went undrafted. I ended up going to the Seattle Storm. I got cut as soon as Courtney Paris walked in the building. I was okay with that because it's Courtney Paris. And throughout my journey, like it's been a little testy for me because I always thought that like if I didn't make the W, I wasn't good enough. So throughout the years, like I've gotten my opportunities here and there, but nothing has stuck for me yet. I did get the opportunity to play with the Sky for I think a week or two. I don't remember, it was a couple years ago, but in general, I just think like believing in my career and believing that the W for me is not my end all be all. And I think once I got that mentality, I really started going off overseas, and I've been able to win championships in different countries. I have a European passport now, so I'm a dual citizen. I'm on the national team, and I just think not being one-dimensional in my dreams has led me to have a really successful career so far. So I just think staying true to my skill set and believing in myself, I think that's helped me a lot in my career.
Awesome.
And for me, it was about finding really inspiring leaders and mentors to help shape my career. And I was really fortunate to have, first of all, a couple of very strong female leaders. And I know we're here to talk about that today. But when I first joined Kraft as an intern, and I was working on DiGiorno Pizza, and I had probably the best manager I've had to date. And she approached business very much like sports. Like she was running her own little sports team as a coach and as a leader. And I also was fortunate enough to take Oprah Winfrey's class at Northwestern. She taught for 1 year on leadership, and I was able to apply some of the principles I learned about leadership in that class to this manager that I had, and I wrote my final thesis on this manager and what made her such a phenomenal leader. And it was really around not only inspiring the team, but bringing out the best in people and being authentic and being humble. And so that really helped not only me to understand the marketing side of the equation, but also the leadership side in business.
Awesome. And so, thinking about your current position now, and you're leading the team, how do you make those connections?
Yeah, so it's also extremely important for me to give back and coach and develop my team. And first of all, it's really critical to build a diverse team with different viewpoints so that we can all get to better solutions and answers. And then coaching is also really important to me. And sometimes that even means giving tough feedback and being direct with people so that they can get better. And I think sometimes people think you're being mean or you're being too tough if you give feedback, but it's the same in basketball. Like, you're only going to get better if you get that constructive feedback, and if you have people who care enough to teach you and to teach you the ropes and also give you, again, that tough constructive feedback. So I think that's really critical from a leadership perspective.
Thank you. So Linnae, as a former basketball player, how do you use social media with your nonprofit?
That's a great question. For me, I've never been the type of person to be super savvy with social media. I just feel like, oh, well, I'm doing the work, they will see. But in this day and age, it's like you have to put it out there. And so it's been times where I'm trying to record videos on my own and I'm like, this just doesn't look right. And so I just started to follow the trends and study the different social media platforms. And so the one thing that I learned was consistency, being able to attract a certain audience, but then also to finding what your niche is. And so for me, I'm working with young girls on the south side of Chicago, specifically with like basketball. And it's not too many organizations on the south side, so that's something that I just ran with. And then recently we just started flag football. And so it's been blowing my mind away because I know nothing about flag football. But I reached out to coaches that are in the community that know the sport, and the girls flock to them. And so as I say, you're a good coach if you have kids following you everywhere. So I'll just continue to build my platform day by day, to the point where now, people are invested in what we do. They want to support. Like, Khaalia has always been a support to anything that we have going on. Recently, she was like, hey, you have your back to school going on, like, how can I donate? And to me, it just means the world, because we go around to different schools across the city of Chicago, and to see the kids not having the resources that they need, I just feel happy that I'm able to be a part of, their journey.
And Tania, how does social media impact you as a player?
Ooh, that's a good question. So recently, as I mentioned, I just got my European passport, and overseas there's this thing called Eurobasket, and it's basically the best teams in Europe. We all compete against each other for something called FIBA Cup. It's every 2 years, blah, blah, blah. So recently I had a great performance, and they tagged me in like a little highlight reel, and next thing I know, I got thousands of people liking the video, like, whoa. And it's actually funny because off that video, I had at least like 4 different teams DM me, like trying to be like, are you available? I'm like, no, but thanks. But I think through social media, I've been able to expand my network. My agent, we have the same agent, but he's very good, but it's just nice to be able to build other bridges through social media. So I would say that's my biggest, that's been a huge impact, being able to share my skill set with the world and having it being received in such a positive way, which leads to new opportunities for me or even my friends. Like, even if I can't go, I can maybe get one of my friends an opportunity that they might not have had if I wouldn't have gotten reached out to through social media. So I really appreciate that. And also, another thing I've been trying to do is listen to my friends about things they want to see. I do food reviews on my Instagram, and when I go overseas, because people are always curious to see what other people in the world eat, I didn't know that. So when I was in China, we both played in China, my food reviews, people are always like, where's the food review? Where? I'm like, whoa, I will start posting, guys. But just even having that like community that is looking at what I'm doing, I'm like, oh, let me try to lock in a little bit. I'm working on it.
Movie critic too.
I am a movie critic. I love Marvel. I'm going to the Spider-Man exhibit.
And so, Tania, for you, again, what role do you see social media, again, playing not only with fans, but also supporting and elevating the W?
Yeah. So social media is huge for us. I would say we probably have a love-hate relationship with it. We essentially tripled our following last season, so we went to about over 1.2 million followers, which is really outstanding for a WNBA team. So it is the primary way we get information out to our fans, whether it's player storytelling to just news on a game. So it's really critical for us. I think the one challenge that we all hear about is some of the online hate that a lot of the players are facing, and so we're trying to counteract that and get most of our fans are amazing and positive, but we have some that are not as positive, and so really trying to create more of a positive landscape for the players. This is not something unique to the WNBA, but I think just across social media today. And we started a new mental health organization called The Net, and it's about a network of mental health support in sports. And so we've adopted some different technologies to help protect our players from some of the online abuse that sometimes they face that can be very hurtful. And I think the players are all doing their best. They go out there and have a huge spotlight, and some days they have great games, some days they have not so great games. But to have a supportive fan base that really encourages and inspires the players, I think is really critical and important going forward.
Awesome. So I often attend Sky Games, and I'm not sure who creates the theme nights. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because they are so wonderful and so fun.
Yeah, so we actually did, I think we're doing 15 themes this season, which I don't want to say it's the most in the WNBA, but it's definitely up there. And so it's really important for us to deliver an entertaining experience for our fans, and we do that through theme games. So you may have seen our Barbie night at the United Center. This was our second time doing it. We were the first in women's sports to do a Barbie night, which was pretty cool. So everything from Barbie's theme is around women's empowerment and girls' empowerment and anything is possible, which obviously fits very nicely with the Chicago Sky. So we try and find partners that align with us. We also did a Marvel night. We were also the first in the WNBA to do a Marvel night, so we did Black Panther, and then we've had some bobbleheads for our key players. And then we've done some more serious themes like mental health, as an example, or Sports Matter is coming up, and we're doing Sky, our lioness, our new mascot. It's her birthday coming up later in August, so we try and find a nice variety of themes that appeal to different fans within our audience base.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Your careers have been very successful, but in that, can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges you faced pursuing your career, and how did you overcome them?
Ooh, that's a great question. For me, I'll kind of tap on the WNBA, but then also playing overseas as well. The journey sometimes it can be lonely when you're traveling miles and miles away to a different place. You're not familiar with the language or the people, the food. It can become very tough, and so it takes a lot of mental toughness and inner strength to be able to be away from your family and friends for 7 to 9 months. And so right now, which is an ongoing battle, but WNBA players, they have their season from April to September, maybe October, and you have to leave directly after that, maybe 2 weeks of a break, and go to another country to continue to play because of the love, but also too for financial reasons. And so it can become a strain on your body. It can become tough mentally, but the passion that we have as athletes, it makes it all worth it. But it can be hard, and so that's why it's so important to build those relationships, because your teammates in different countries will become your family. And so if you're fortunate enough to go to the same team, you have a family that you're familiar with, but if not, you have to go to a different country every single year and meet new people. And so like this past season, we both were in China, and so this is my first time here long term, and I don't speak the language. I have a strict diet, so I don't eat a lot of the food. So trying to navigate that while also performing on the court can be tough, but it's helped me grow as an athlete, as an individual, and I can keep that knowledge with me as I continue my journey.
I touched on it a little earlier. My journey through the W hasn't been, like I haven't had anything that stuck yet. So for me, it's kind of like, dang, am I not good enough? Like, what's going on? Like, because sometimes I get feedback from the staff and I go and correct it, try again with the corrected things, and it would still not work out. So now I'm like, okay, what's going on? But as I said before, like, I just think throughout every failure, I think I've learned something and grown as a player. And right now I'm in a space where I really don't, I know who I am as a player. And I think without my struggles mentally with the W, or even being overseas, I actually love overseas. It's, no, but being overseas definitely is a culture shock, but for me, I'm very outgoing. I love trying new things. And my biggest struggle overseas with some countries is they don't like to pay you on time. They don't got the same laws overseas as they have in America. So some teams, they be like, hey, we gonna pay you. We just gonna pay you when we pay you. I don't work well with that. So that's been a real challenge for me because my mental does not do good without my money. I'm not gonna lie. So that's been my biggest thing I've been trying to overcome. So I try to only go to places now that pay on time, which is also a struggle because it's like I don't want to miss out on the opportunity to get something more, trying to make sure that I'm getting my money on time. And it's just kind of hard trying to make sure that you're in a good situation when you're overseas, because overseas can be beautiful, but it can also be a real struggle if you're not in the right situation. So I just think having to deal with that in general, it's really taxing on your mental health, as well as like obviously the games and stuff. But I think mental is to physical, that's 2 to 1. So that's really what I try to keep together is my mental.
Thank you.
I think for me, it was about finding my place, especially in the marketing space. And I'm actually an introvert. If I had to do it over again, I might have gone into science. And I love sitting behind a computer and working on spreadsheets all day. And so I think to be in a very extroverted marketing world, especially at big companies like a PepsiCo, where people are very into promoting themselves, and I'm Canadian, so a little more on the humble side, that was a big adjustment for me. And so I think figuring out what your story is, what you're good at, what you like, and where do you feel comfortable is really important in your career. And so for me, being back in the basketball space sort of immediately gave me that comfort, where it was much easier for me to promote not only the team and the work that we're doing, but essentially because I felt so good about it and it was so comfortable for me. So I think the lesson for anyone out there looking for your career, like figure out what really matters to you, what you're good at, and where you're gonna feel comfortable. Like where do you even spend your time? What are your hobbies? What do you do in your spare time? Like what lights you up? What inspires you? And you really want to try and pursue that path versus doing maybe what other people tell you to do.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things we always say to young people that the career path is not linear.
Right.
Oftentimes you start off in one thing and realize, wow, something else is my niche. So definitely, thank you for that. So let's find some fun things. So you talked about being a food critic. So talk a little bit about some of your favorite foods.
Okay. I feel very strongly about food. So I played in Turkey for 3 seasons, and Istanbul is like the tourist city. And in Istanbul, there's this restaurant called Zuma, and it's like Japanese fusion type of situation. They have a miso cod, and then you get the grilled shrimp, and then you got to get the broccoli with the some type of butter they put on top, and then you got to get the potato. That's probably my favorite meal on planet Earth right now. Oh, and the crab leg and the lobster. That's my meal. Yeah, I love seafood. I love seafood. Girl, I just had a boil last week. I love seafood, but and then there's a place. It's their partner restaurant called Roka, and I get the yellowtail sashimi with a steak, a Wagyu steak, and another potato, but like they have the skin and they like crisp it up and then they like pat it and they put the sour cream in it. But those are my 2 favorite restaurants in the world. And in China was a struggle. Okay, China was a struggle, but they have really good fried shrimp, really good rice, and they have really good soups. I really like their soups. But I'm not gonna lie, I was eating the same thing in China because they be eating, I'm not even exaggerating, they eat blood sausage. They eat blood sausage, they eat blood clots, they eat pig knees, they eat duck tongue, they eat every part of the animal. Like if you're eating chicken, that chicken head gonna be in that bowl. And the whole fish gonna be looking at you. So a lot of my videos would be like, it's looking at me, I can't eat it. I would eat it, but yeah, I would just rice, shrimp, chicken, and soup. That was my jam. But overall, in Turkey, Istanbul, you can catch me at Zuma Haroka once or twice a week, every week, faithfully.
Wonderful. Renee, you talked about having a very strict diet. So what does that consist of?
I got it. So to start, I don't eat any pork, beef, red meat. No, I don't. I eat a lot of chicken, fish. I eat ground turkey.
Okay.
Yeah. But for the most part, I try to lay off on carbs. And so I realized that when I travel abroad, I can eat literally anything, and I feel great. I'm high on energy. You know, it doesn't affect, you know, my performance. But when I come home and I eat the same thing, it truly does affect your body from a nutrition standpoint because of all of the preservatives and everything they put in our food. And so when I went to China, I lost 30 pounds just from eating the same exact food that I would eat here. And then when I came back home, I gained it right back. So, but for me, I would say going to Italy, it was probably the best food I've had because I love Italian food. Growing up, I thought Olive Garden was the best thing ever. And then I get to Italy and I was like, yeah, no, this is real Italian food. And it's a misconception too. Like, before I went to China, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get some shrimp fried rice, you know, with some orange chicken. No, that's the last thing that you will see in China. But I'm grateful for those moments to travel and try new food and meet new people. I don't really like trying new food if it's something different, but over the last few years, I've gotten better with stepping out of my comfort zone. And so, yeah. Now, I recently went to Bali, and the food there is amazing. It's amazing. So, yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
My favorite restaurant?
Your favorite restaurant, favorite foods?
My favorite restaurant in Chicago is Babette's. Have you been there?
Yes, that's
Yeah, they have
So
amazing steak. It's, you know, you want to treat yourself, and it's very hard to get a reservation. I think they've been open 13 years now, and it's just as hard 13 years later than year one. But that would be my top recommendation.
Great
Thank you for
choice.
sharing.
Yes, thank you.
It's fun.
Great choice. Oh,
So we have one last final question for you. What message would you like to share with our young people who are aspiring, maybe girls in STEM or the next generation of the W?
I got one. I love this question, so thank you. The biggest thing that I say to people your age or even, you know, adults, I would just say stay consistent in whatever you do. So if you like to do something, get really good at it. Really, really good at it. Stay consistent. Because if you stay consistent, I promise you, you're going to eventually be the best at what you do, and the opportunities will present themselves. And then when you network and you put yourself out there, even more opportunities will come. So I just say stay consistent, keep your network up, and just make sure you're always working hard and being passionate about what you do. Don't go through the motions in your life, because then you're going to look up and you're going to look back and wonder what happened. And please don't do that. Like, stay passionate, stay consistent, and find something that you love and get really, 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 really good at it.
Thank you.
That was great. And I want to build on that, because along with consistency comes resilience. And so we talked about sometimes the career journey is not exactly how you think it will be. And so if you can just stick to something, like find something you love, first of all, because if you don't love it, you're not going to be able to stay in it. But find something you love, and then there will be challenges, and you need to fight through the challenges, because that's when you learn and get better, and you build your expertise through fighting through those challenges. So it's a journey, but really you just want to stay committed and not give up.
That was great. I mean, that was the bulk of everything. But I'll add that one thing that I've learned and I want to share with you all is that as you continue to go through this journey, it's important to know that your character will take you further than your work ethic. You know, you can work as hard as you can be committed and dedicated to your craft and whatever your passion and hobbies are. But if your character isn't right, it's going to limit you. So I make sure for myself that any environment that I'm in, you know, Linnae has a great attitude. Linnae is going to show up on time. She's selfless. She's a good teammate. She carries herself well, able to adapt in any situation under pressure, because you're going to be in situations where it's between you and another person. And so who are they going to choose? You know, because if you're talented, but, you know, you might be lazy a little bit, or your attitude isn't right, they're going to go with that other person. And the last thing that I'll add is that sometimes as athletes, we get so caught up in the next thing and continuing to work for what's next in the future that we forget to give ourselves grace and a pat on the back in the moment now. And so I tell people to always be satisfied with where you are in your journey right now, with the work that you've done to lead you up to this point. but never be content with where you're going. Always strive for the best. Always want more. Set goals, even if your goals are scary. If you're striving for that, you have the right people around you, you're networking, you're resilient, everything is gonna work out. And if you do get hit with a no, or the door closes in your face, that's not the end. You just have to be rerouted to another way in your journey, but you're still gonna be successful, you're still gonna be powerful. And right now is the best time just for women in sports, women in business. Like, this is a time to come together and truly celebrate, so yeah.
Well, let's give a great round of applause for celebrating our special guest. And now we will take some questions from you.
Huh?
So first I want you to say your name, your age, and then,
Young
so
people.
we'll ask, somebody wanna raise their hand and just say
Please
your
raise your
name,
hand.
age.
Yeah, great. If you would, say your name, your age, and then your question.
Hi, my name is Irene Vasquez. I'm 14, and my question for you is, what are strategies or ways that you cope with bad mental health or negative thoughts when you need to perform your best self?
Okay, so I think I'm the most mentally health person here. Girl, I've been struggling. But I have a release, which is basketball, and then I go to therapy on a very regular basis because I was not satisfied with how I was handling certain situations in life and in basketball. So I really just dived into therapy, and I started off with two times a week, every week, until I started to build the necessary coping mechanisms. And then over time, I just got less and less. I still go. I got an appointment next week, but I would say for me, journaling helped me a lot when I was feeling things that I couldn't necessarily say out loud but wanted to say. And then therapy was a huge one for me.
Hi, I'm Antoinette. I'm 17, and my question was: I know, Ms. Harper, that you said one of your motivations was not having a lot on them, but is there anything else that's pushing you to continue to work towards the youth with basketball and anything else?
Great question.
That's a great question. Honestly, anytime I'm in a space where I see so much talent, specifically in young girls and women, that motivates me so much. I'm like, I don't know if you all were watching the highlights, but during that time when I was playing for the Sky, the stands were empty. There was no one there watching our games. But, 7 years later, they're selling out arenas. The Chicago Sky is also having games at the United Center. So it's like legends before I became a professional, they paved the way for us, and the work that we've done are now providing those platforms for the current athletes. So it's just all about providing those resources. She mentioned storytelling, and so it's important to get your story out there. Everyone has a special story, something great about them, and so the more that people can know about who you are, you're going to be able to expand your platform.
I'm getting my steps in.
Hi, I'm Thalia and I'm 9 years old. I just wanted to ask, how did you guys feel when they told you you could enter in the Sky team?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's so cute.
Stop it right now.
So for me, I don't know if you all know, so when you finish up, whether if you're in college or not, when you finish up your season, you transition to the league. You have 2 weeks for training camp. So if you're not on a guaranteed contract, you have 2 weeks to prove, to the team, the GM, that you want to be on the team. And so in those 2 weeks, the cut is brutal. You could practice for 2 hours, and then the coach will say, hey, good job today, come to my office. And I'm thinking, we're gonna watch film and you might get cut. And so for me, the very last day, I'm like, I made it to the last day. I know I have to meet with the GM, but I had no idea what was gonna happen. So she sat me down and she was like, yeah, you did a great job. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's over with. But she was like, you know what, we decided to keep you. And in that moment, I wanted to just express happiness and joy. But I'm from Chicago, so I had to play it real cool. I was like, oh, okay. Thanks, I appreciate it. But when I left out the room, I went to the bathroom and I was just full of like happy tears. I called my mom and I was like, oh my gosh, I made the team, and that just motivated me to keep going. Because a lot of times when you get the opportunity, you kind of rest. It's like, oh, I'm good now. But I'm like, no, I'm not good. This is day 14. I gotta make it to, month 5. So I was excited and forever grateful.
My journey to the sky is a little different. I was basically there to help out the team because one of their players got injured. So when my agent told me that they were looking for a center to, come in and help out if need be, I was honestly just so happy that it was Chicago. I was home at the time from, I think, a different camp. I don't even remember. I think Atlanta maybe. But when they called me up, I was just so grateful. I already knew most of the girls, so they were like texting me like, oh my God, like, I can't wait to see you. I'm like, I can't wait to see y'all too. But it was so fun just being around that atmosphere and that energy. And I learned a lot in my 2 weeks with the Sky. Got to participate in my game. I got to take pictures with my family. My mom got to see me in uniform, and that meant a lot to me. So I'm forever grateful. Still got my jersey. I'm gonna hang it up.
Hi, my name is Aileen. I'm 9 years old, and I have a big question for you. Like, what made you get more better at basketball? Like, when you were little.
I didn't start till so.
So for me, I gained a lot of confidence from playing with young boys. And so when I would go to the gym, they were like, oh, you can't play with us because you're a girl. Or I was always the last one picked for a team. But one day, I played one-on-one up to 7 for money. And I didn't have any money, and I was playing against the boys. And they put their, dollar down. And, if you scored, you get the dollar. And next thing I know, I had $12. And at that moment, I'm like, yeah, I can play this sport. I can play basketball with, young boys or girls. And so eventually the next time I came to the gym, they're like, oh, we got Harper first. She's on our team. And then just having those people believe in me, gave me the confidence to stay in the gym. And so next thing you know, I'm at the gym every single day, getting up shots. I was crying when my mom had to come get me because I'm like, no, I have to be better. But it paid off, so yeah. Thanks for those $12.
I don't know if I can answer this question. I didn't really start till I was 14. I don't know if that's young enough, but really consistency for me, doing the same thing over and over again until it was muscle memory. And so by the time I had my muscle memory, it was good for me statistically. And then I was like, oh, I'm averaging 20 points. Okay, that might be good a little bit. And I think that just helped me gain my confidence, was just being able to do something off automatic muscle memory for me.
My name is Elia, and I'm 9 years old. And what's your Instagram, and what is your favorite memory in basketball?
What's that? Give me the IG. What's your Instagram?
Yeah, what's your Instagram? So just follow Chicago Sky.
Yeah, follow Chicago Sky. That's better. I think I'm Tania H. 23, 11, 10, something like that. But
23, 11,
yes,
10.
yeah.
Why you got all the numbers?
To be a little anonymous.
Oh. Mine is Khaalia00.
Spell your name.
My name is a little long. I feel like nobody's gonna remember. But it's Khaalia00. That's it. I know. I'm sorry, y'all. Blame my mama. Blame my
You got
mama.
numbers too.
That's my jersey number. Khaalia00. Khaalia00. Damn, kid. One more time. Khaalia00. I got you, girl. I got you. I got you.
My Instagram is _Harper Kid.
It's so easy.
I know, _Harper Kid.
Yep. She said, what about it? That's funny.
I'm Dallas. I'm 16 years old, and I want to ask, how do you cooperate with like a negative experience of your teammate, or just like straight up like bad cooperation? How do you like rebound from that?
Like, how do you deal with negative teammates, basically?
That's a great question. For whatever reason in my career, I've always been deemed as that person taking the responsibility of dealing with all of my teammates and different personalities and all of that stuff. But for me, it just gained another level of understanding and patience. And so I can have one teammate that might be a certain way and another teammate where they're clashing. And so I just try to find a commonality between everyone where we can all be peaceful. And so in every situation, I'm like, okay, what is the worst thing that can happen? And if I can figure out what that is, and I can understand the best thing that can happen, I'll strive for the best. And knowing that if it doesn't happen, I'm already prepared in my mind for what the worst can be.
I would say she's better than me because it depends on the situation. Like if we're in practice and we're having a moment as teammates, I'll usually ask coach for a moment, pull my teammate to the side and ask what's going on. And I'll be like, either we gonna figure it out right now or we gonna get through this practice and figure it out. Or if we're in the game, I'm quiet and I do my job, and then after the game, I'll address my teammate or whatever's going on after the fact. But in the moment, I make sure I'm doing my job still, but I usually address it pretty quickly, in a respectful way though.
I'll add something quickly. So in 2023, Haley Van Lith, who's a current player on the Chicago Sky, me, her, and two other players, we played in the World Cup that qualified for the 2024 Olympics. And so playing with two college athletes, it's so different. And so one thing that I learned is like, hey, Haley is, even though she's in college, she's very mature for her age. And so I was able to have that one player that I could lean on. It's like, hey, we can work together on this. And she was able to help me, kind of manage everything. So I think too, it's like having a strong teammate or friend, like have somebody that's going to encourage you, push you, but also hold you accountable. So, yeah.
How you all doing? I'm Coach Pat. I coach at Michelle Clark High School. These one girl.
Okay, Michelle
I
Clark.
Okay, Miss Michelle
What
Clark.
made you change the mascot?
Oh, good question. So we received a lot of feedback from fans that we listened to that Sky Guy was our former mascot. Some of you may know that they didn't feel that Guy was appropriate for a women's basketball team. And so we did a lot of research to understand, okay, how can we find a mascot that aligns a little bit better with the Chicago Sky and the WNBA? And we chose a lioness because the lioness represents feminine strength and power. And also, many of you may know there were lions in front of the Art Institute in Chicago, and so we saw a nice connection there. And that's another Instagram you can follow. She's trying to build up her following, actually, but it's Sky and the Shy.
Sky and the Sky. Okay.
Yeah, well, she's given Ellie a run for her money. She's a tumbler, so if you've seen her, she can do gymnastics.
I've seen it a little bit.
Yeah, and I think they're now calling her Skymone Biles based on her tumbling. So definitely check her out. Good question, thank you.
Hi, my name is Khaalia, and I want to ask, what made you choose, what definitely made you choose the college that you ended up going to?
I love that question. Love it. So I went to Texas A&M, and throughout my recruitment process, it was a lot, and you guys can probably attest to how crazy it is. But what really separated A&M was Bob Starkey. He's the associate head at LSU now. He wrote me a 16-page letter on why he wanted to coach me and what he saw for me in the future. I still have it. It's in my little storage box, but. That was huge to me because I never, of course coaches took the time out of their day, but he really sat there and wrote me front to back a 16-page letter as to why he wanted to coach me, and that meant so much to me. And also A&M is super family oriented, And coming from Whitney Young, where we had such a strong sisterhood, I knew I needed that in college, and college is very cutthroat. And I know a lot of teams sell people a dream before they sign their NILs, or what is it called? I don't even remember. But I just think the honesty with A&M and the family atmosphere and that letter, that's what really separated them from the other schools for me.
Well, to Kyle's point, I went to Kentucky because I was sold a dream. My visit was amazing. The campus, my 48 hours was amazing. I couldn't have asked for anything else. And so the last day, he had all the players come at like 8 o'clock in the morning to breakfast, and they all wrote me like hand letters. And I was like, this is just so special. Like, I feel like this is the spot for me. And so I signed and I got there, and to this day, my teammates were amazing. But it definitely was a dream. And so I transferred to Ohio State because before I committed to Kentucky, it was down to Ohio State and Kentucky. But I chose Kentucky because it was more so of the playing style that I came from. Ohio State was different, but they stayed persistent, from the beginning. And so I transferred, and I went to Ohio State not just for athletics, but also because they have a huge alumni base. And so I learned in college, it's important to network. And so there's a moment where I need something, and I'm always super shy, I'm always scared to network, but if I see someone like, oh, you're a Buckeye, it's an instant connection. And so anytime I need something, I can always call. They took care of my master's, I was able to get into sports coaching for whatever I'm gonna do when I'm done. So the college that you choose is very important. Yeah.
My name is Angel, and what made you love basketball so much?
What made you love basketball so much? You know what?
Okay, well, first let me just quickly answer the school question,
Yeah.
and then you guys can answer basketball. So I went to Yale undergrad, and I share that only because I was looking beyond basketball. So basketball was my ticket to go to a school like that. I knew I wanted to go to an academically strong school, and I was recruited to play at Yale, but I knew that I wasn't going to play basketball after college. And so I wanted to make sure I found a place that would help me build a career. And so I think it's really important to think, even if you're an athlete or you want to play basketball or a different sport, think about what else you love. What do you want to study? Which schools are good for those type of programs? Because that will set you up for success even beyond sports, whether you make the WNBA or not. What made me love basketball? So I was a point guard, and I think what motivated me in basketball is the same as what motivates me in business, which is I loved giving a great pass to my centers. It was just really thrilling to me. It was more important than scoring. So finding ways to, first of all, I was a great ball handler. I had to be at my size, so I was spending 2-3 hours a day just dribbling. So if you are gonna play a sport, find something that you're good at, whether you want to be a three-point shooter, whether you want to be a great ball handler, because a lot of times people just focus on everything, and then you're not necessarily strong in one or two skills. So I would say for me, it was passing the ball to the center and getting those great assists was what drove me.
For me, it's the sisterhoods that I've been able to develop across the world. I have amazing friends all over the globe, and that's so special to me. So that's definitely made my love for the game stronger, just knowing that I have people literally all over the world that I can depend on, not just on the court, but off the court. And also, the money ain't bad either, so yeah. Ain't bad.
For me, my love for the game came from just a love of growth and progression. I love seeing myself work at something and I might not be good at it. And then as time progresses, I'm like, okay, I got better. And so for me, I'm like, the more I can see the efforts and improvement, the more love that came in. And to Kyle's point, just the relationships that you build from your teammates, your coaches, all the memories, it makes it worthwhile. And so I love the game now just as much as I did, 25 years ago. And I'm just grateful for the journey that it's presented me with.